The New Conservatives faction announced it will now start directly fundraising to protect its MPs in marginal seats across the North and Midlands. Furious Tories accused Rishi Sunak of deliberately walking away from red wall voters to protect voters in the South. The New Conservatives group has warned the Prime Minister it will speak out on issues it fears the party is not listening to voters on, such as migration and trans rights. Founders Miriam Cates and Danny Kruger issued a joint statement saying the hope that the party has swung behind the new supporters brought in under Boris Johnson has dwindled following the reshuffle. The MPs said they want to reaffirm support for the Prime Minister and want him to succeed. But they added, "Nevertheless, we are concerned that yesterday's reshuffle indicates a major change in the policy direction of the government. The Conservative Party now looks like it is deliberately walking away from the coalition of voters who brought us into power with a large majority in 2019. That election, building on the victory of the Leave vote in the Brexit referendum of 2016, represented the realignment of our politics. In 2019, voters across Britain, from our rural heartlands to the industrial towns of the North and Midlands, rejected the declinist consensus among the parties. This consensus had brought 2 decades of wage stagnation, asset inflation, high taxation, regional inequality, record rates of immigration, a failed foreign policy oriented towards China and the European Union, and a cultural agenda which denigrated the history of Britain and even denied the reality of biological sex. The public voted, and we promised, to Mr. Sunak brutally sacked Home Secretary Suella Braverman and brought David Cameron back into frontline politics in a reshuffle that stunned Westminster. The New Conservatives, made up of around 20 MPs in traditionally Labour areas, including Tory Deputy Chairman Lee Anderson, met on Monday evening to share their fury at the developments. Mrs. Cates and Mr. Kruger said the group had held on to the hope that the government still believed in the realignment of voters and would work to reorient foreign policy, radically reduce migration, and restore common sense in our schools and universities. They added, that hope, the project of the realignment, has now dwindled. In political terms, it appears the leadership has decided to abandon the voters who switched to us last time, sacrificing the seats we won from Labour in 2019 in the hope of shoring up support elsewhere. For our part, we remain committed to working for a Conservative victory at the next election. We will continue to make the case for the realignment, developing policy proposals, like the recent New Conservative papers on migration, skills and tax, which we will offer to the party as our contribution to the manifesto process. We will continue to campaign for a new framework for asylum policy that fulfills our moral obligations to genuine refugees while restoring control of our borders.